Uh, What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Mega Impossible review series. We are going through these films now. We've only got two more left now. One more after this, but two more including this one. This is Mission Impossible Road Nation. Well, technically three more because we will be reviewing the new one for you guys.
Yes.
But yeah, we have Mission Impossible Road Nation, where many have actually hailed this as the best of the franchise. I think the next one we'll be talking about is the best of the franchise, but this one definitely is high up there. This one is just fantastic, and I am proud to be joined by my wonderful colleague and friend, Andrew Long here. How are you doing, buddy?
I am doing great. I am really, really excited to talk about this one because when I rewatched this, I had a reaction to this movie.
What kind of reaction?
A very positive one, like second best in the franchise. In my opinion, this is up there. There's so many things in this movie that I felt were intriguing, were well done, were well made.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and it is truly a fantastic film. So as this review series works, guys, we're just going to kind of basically wing it. We're just going to go through it and just kind of talk about our favorite moments and spoiler detail. So if you guys haven't seen this film, be sure that you see it and then come back here and watch this review, guys. It's definitely worth watching. And also, before we get started on our review, this is a coincidence. I did not mean for this to happen. I set the review up for today because I was having my July 4th thing, which ended up sort of getting canceled. I'm having a July 4th thing tomorrow, though, but it's just kind of weird. I can tell you all about that later, but I canceled it on yesterday and postponed it to today. I had no idea when I postponed it to today that today would be Tom Cruise's birthday. So, with that said, happy birthday, Tom Cruise. This is ironic that we are reviewing one of your movies on your birthday.
Happy birthday, Tom Cruise, the one of the very few actors whose name alone can sell tickets nowadays.
And I feel like he is honestly the only I feel like he's The Rock, you could say this for maybe, but I feel more so when you're talking about like the action star. I feel like Tom Cruise is the last remaining true action star. And because what I mean by that is, like, when you think of like Sylvester Stallone, you think of him as an action star. When you think of Arnold Schwarzenegger, he is an action star. So like you think of, certain actors like that, and Tom Cruise, I feel like, is the last remaining true action star.
A biggie because he does his own stunts. So we know when he's hanging on a plane or hanging on the edge of a building, Tom Cruise is doing that. It is not a CGI thing. It is not a stunt double. That is him out there doing that for his fans.
Yeah. And so, yeah, he does all of his own stunts, which is always incredible. And especially in this movie, we'll get into it, about who, like, some of the stunts he does. He does a major stunt in this movie that's just unbelievable.
One of the craziest ones.
One of the craziest ones anyone has ever done. This man has a death wish. But yeah, it's just from that to him being able to just captivate us with these action characters, whether it's Maverick or whether it's Ethan Hunt or whether it's his character in Minority Report. Like anytime he's in an action movie, he's always able to capture us with that character.
And what I love the most about Tom Cruise is, haven't you, it may just be me, but have you noticed that Tom Cruise's characters never really talk about modern day politics? Never feel like, and just like they're forcing a message or anything.
Yeah.
It is just a character being a character that everybody can enjoy.
That's what I like about it. Like, that's what made Top Gun Maverick so refreshing. Is that was a movie that was made for everyone, and that's what makes these kind of Mission Impossible movies so refreshing. Is there movies made for everyone, So, but yeah, this. With that said, happy birthday, Tom Cruise, and let's dive into the review. So the way this movie opens up, it opens up with a banger. This film literally, it starts off and you have no leeway. They give you no time to breathe. You're just in it. They're doing this like plane heist, trying to open the door. Benji's in like this ghillie suit. He's trying to get the door open and all this stuff. And Jeremy Renner's character, he's talking to them, and Ving Rhames. Apparently Ving Rhames is on the intercom, even though he's in a whole nother area. And so it's just kind of this back and forth discussion between them, and they're trying to hijack this plane. And then that's whenever Tom Cruise runs in there and does his epic Tom Cruise run, Ethan Hunt, and he gets onto the plane, literally onto the plane. He gets in the plane later.
As it's taking off.
Yeah.
As the plane is taking off, he's not like hanging on the plane like while it's on the ground or about to flap. It is literally in the air at a point, and he is hanging onto it.
This is the opening stunt of the movie. Like, that is insane. Like, with Ghost Protocol, the Dubai Tower comes in like around the halfway mark. With like Fallout, the like Halo jump scene comes in around the halfway mark. It's like this one, it's like literally starts out from the beginning.
I'd say the Halo jump is more like 20 minutes in.
Maybe it might have been more.
Because it's in the beginning. It's in the beginning, because remember, it starts, they kill the guy, then the manifesto, and then in the first like 10 minutes, and then he found out, oh hey, this other guy needs to go with you guys on this mission, and then the Halo jump.
Yeah, I remember.
So yeah, it's like the first 20 minutes, but the point is still clear. That was not the very start of the movie. And funny enough, it doesn't affect the rest of the movie, because I would be scared to have that in the beginning, because it's like, it's like, you have the best steak you've ever eaten.
Yeah.
Every other time you eat steak after that, it's just not going to taste good, because you're going to be like, it's not as good as that first one that I've had. And it's just not going to be as good. It's going to have a negative effect. But no, this movie has so much stuff going on that you don't care that the biggest, most dangerous stunt is right in the opening.
Yeah.
Hell, it's not even my favorite part of the whole movie.
I know, right? It's like, it's insane to me that like this is, I mean, yeah, it's his most crazy stunt he's done probably, but it's not even my personal favorite stunt in the movie, which is Interesting. We'll get into my favorite stunt when we talk about it. But yeah, this opening scene, it's like this palm sweating. And then as soon as he's on the side of the plane, it's got that great humor in there, that back and forth with Benji saying like, he's trying to open the door. He opens the back hatch door, and he's like, "That's the wrong door." As he's hanging there, and then he opens up the other door, and then Tom Cruise goes flying into the plane and like hits the plane, and then he attaches himself onto the thing that they're trying to take, and then he flies out. And the moment he like flies out of the plane, it delves into the Mission Impossible theme, and it felt good to get that, like, because Ghost Protocol had that weird like thing where they changed up the theme a bit. It felt good to have that dun 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 back again.
Yes. Yes, completely agree. And then immediately following this, what the scene immediately following this? Was it the scene in the record store? Or was it?
Yeah, it was the scene in the record store.
Yes, and the scene in the record store was even great because you have even Ethan Hunt going in there, talking to this girl, saying this code, and then she tells him, "Hey, go in there on this record." So he goes in, and it's the villain. It's the villain, and he's using the girl, and the girl is a pawn and everything, and Ethan Hunt gets captured. And then you have the whole thing with Alec Baldwin, introduction of Alec Baldwin, which is a great character to have in these movies. And the whole thing with the IMF being defunded and everything. That's great. It starts to build up all of this tension, and Ethan Hunt escaping from being captured, and the woman, the female she is great. Like, I love this character in this franchise because you never know if you can trust her or not. She is that character that she'll help you 1 minute, then she'll stab you in the back. So you're invested in okay, what is this character going to do? Who is this character going to help?
Absolutely. Yeah, I completely agree. I just love her character so much. She almost kind of reminds me of like Black Widow in that way, where Black Widow is like kind of like that double agent where she would like switch sides and all that stuff. And
she's I feel like in Mission Impossible, it's even more, you don't know what is going to happen. Like in the Marvel movies, blah, whatever time, she's gonna fight for good. She's gonna fight for good. She's going to fight for good. But every time you think this character is going to fight for good, she knocks out Ethan to get something. It's like, oh my god, maybe she is evil, and then she comes back to help Ethan, and you're like, wait, if you're truly evil, you wouldn't come back to help, So she just raises so many questions that I love. Like, I'm like, if Ethan Hunt was to ever settle down and get married, this is the kind of girl that he should be with, somebody who is like him, in that way.
Well,
that very
I don't think it should be with someone who can't make up their mind on which side they would want to choose. But
I feel like as the movies progress, she sort of figures things out more.
Yeah, and by the next one, she's fully has like a side that she's on. It's not like she's not wishy-washy playing games.
Yes. I feel like at the end of the sixth one, I'm like, okay, if Ethan Hunt is to settle down with somebody at the end of this franchise, as of now, I say it should be her because she is somebody that would understand what's going on, and would it feel like a thing for Ethan Hunt to always protect, because you know that she would be able to defend herself, because you saw on countless occasions that she could where with Julia, it felt more like, oh, I have to protect her, I have to protect her, I have to protect her. Even though that she did kill someone, it still felt like that he was hiding his life from her. Where this girl is more like she knows all of his deep dark secrets.
Yeah. And talking about, I mean, she's just a fascinating character. And then also talking about like the scene in the record store, that scene that you were referring to recently, like being introduced to the villain. I thought the villain was great in this film.
Loved him.
He was very scary, very menacing.
The biggest threat I feel to Ethan, like not the most, like intimidating, but the most like threatening villain to Ethan. The one who I felt was the most like, how Sherlock Holmes had Moriarty.
Yeah.
This felt like the Moriarty to Ethan Hunt, Sherlock Holmes.
I really like that comparison, because this movie kind of has that like vibe that almost feels a little bit more like a Sherlock Holmes kind of adventure, you know?
It feels like every other villain was smart, but this guy felt even smarter. That like he knew what was going to happen, and Ethan actually had to use his skills to defeat him. It wasn't just his brawn; it was his brain. And this film just felt very taxing on the mind to outsmart.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. And talking about your favorite action scene in the film, I feel, and we'll talk more about the villain as we go along, because there's some crazy stuff that happens with him. Like, we haven't even gotten to the, and I feel like, well, first off, I do want to mention, like, I feel like out of all the villains, more than any others. I mean, maybe Philip Seymour Hoffman, you could argue, was this way as well, but I feel like this villain was really good at getting the upper hand on Ethan. Like,
absolutely, I absolutely agree. And how this villain talked in a very soft and intelligent way. This villain's like voice felt very much like, oh, hey, I'm not gonna be loud and boisterous. I'm gonna be smart and conniving and intelligent.
yeah, and it's just very, very, very menacing. And what I mean by him getting the upper hand is that, like, in that same scene, he like tricks Ethan, and Ethan gets caught inside that like smoky glass. And at the end, it's interesting that he pulls the same exact trick that the villain pulled on him at the very end there, which is like
I loved it.
Which is a very interesting doubleheader. But yeah, talk about this. Let's just break down the action of this film, because as I watched it, and I have to rewatch. Obviously the Mission Impossible Fallout first before I can say this. But as of now, until I rewatch Mission Impossible Fallout, this has the best action in the franchise.
I agree. Even though I feel that Mission Impossible 6 is better, is a better movie. This felt like the best action, and that it had the opera scene, which I feel is one of the top 10 best action scenes that I've seen in film. Just I'm big into musical theater, so how they made the opera music intimidating, how they're building tension with opera music, how they're having the action connect with the music,
and
how they make it intimidating. Like the one scene that I remember is the platforms, like where like during the opera song, the villain is going higher, and then Ethan Hunt is going higher, and when
it's a super big, tall dude he's fighting too in that scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I loved it. And the setting was unique. It felt like I have not seen a million action scenes done like this. Like, name me one scene in an opera house that had opera music playing while an epic fight was going down.
Yeah, that's a that. I mean, I can't think of one that. I mean, I could think of probably a scene that had opera music, action scene that had opera music, but I can't think of one that had opera music taking place in an opera. You know, that's
it just felt so unique. And when you have action scenes in movies that feel very generic fun, but very, oh hey, here's another car chase, oh hey, here's a gunfight, oh hey, here's a chase on foot. It's nice to see franchises that say, you know what, let's give an action scene that people have not seen a million times. Let's have a scene in an opera house with opera music and have the opera music connect to the action and build tension with it. And I loved it. I was like, some of the best action that I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, that's I completely agree. They're from the opera house sequence, which is also just super intense, and I love that like flute gun he picks up at that one point.
Awesome.
That he has to like try to use that like that can like disguise itself as a gun, and just the intensity there of like him trying to decide on who he needs to shoot in order to fix the situation and to get the situation, because he's like in that dilemma right there. But then we were also talking earlier like about the plane stunt. I don't even think that's the craziest stunt he did in this movie. I think the craziest stunt he did in this movie might have been the underwater stunt. And the reason why is because whenever apparently Tom Cruise had to learn to hold his breath for like 6 minutes or over for that scene.
Another really dramatic, like tension building scene where he's trying to hold on to that thing and the wheels are turning and oh no, the fan knocked it out of his hand. And like, they do a really good job in these movies giving you the action with a lot of tension and fear and anxiety for the character. And a lot of that is because Ethan Hunt is a good character.
Yeah. And yeah, from that scene again, yeah, like reps up in intensity. It's just super on edge, and how he was able to pull that off was incredible.
Yeah.
And then the motorcycle chase. You know, this is our first. I think this is our first motorcycle chase since Mission Impossible 2, and this is
so much better.
And this is a much better motorcycle chase because he's not like popping wheelies as he's like trying to fire a gun or whatever, popping wheelies, like some over the top type thing. It's more like a grittier action, like motorcycle sequence where they're just chasing each other and everything. That was just
cool.
So
more well done. And back to that water scene. Meanwhile, on the inside, to heighten the tension even more, you see Benji going through the building, and oh no, will he get caught? Will those things protect him there? So that also,
and then having him drop that little like key card he had to put in there, and then he just had to guess which one was the right one because they both looked identical to one another. So whenever he picked one up, it's like he better hope that was the right one because if it wasn't, they would have been screwed. So it was so good. And talking about Benji, yeah, I'm very happy that one thing I want to say is one, I'm glad Ving Rhames had more of a role in this film because in Ghost Protocol, he was only in it like at the end. He wasn't really there much in the movie.
And we all love more Ving Rhames in the Mission Impossible franchise.
Absolutely. But then also Benji, like I told you with the last time, he still made a few jokes here and there. And whenever we get to Fallout, he's a much more serious character. But like I said with Ghost Protocol, I felt one of my issues I had with Ghost Protocol was I felt like he was too jokey at like the wrong times. It was just sort of like, dude, okay, like this is not he pulled an Ari. Anyone who knows the channel, he pulled an Ari. It's like, dude, this is not the time to joke. You have to like be serious now. I felt like this movie kind of handled his character in a more mature way, which was really nice. He didn't feel immature. That was the thing about Ghost Protocol is he felt immature. I felt like in this movie, he still cracked jokes. He still had your wisecracks here and there. But
yes.
like I felt like they handled his character with a much more nuance and maturity than around this time around than they did.
Like when Ethan Hunt got him the ticket for the opera, so do you win tickets to the opera? Little things like that were funny.
Yeah. Like little quips like that are fun. And you
need a character like that to diffuse the tension.
You do. And as long as doesn't feel like it's like overbearing or just too much or too in your face or whatever. And it wasn't. I felt like it was just the right amount. So yeah, I think everyone here does an exceptional job. Like you mentioned Alec Baldwin. I liked that part too, because it on top of the very like espionage kind of like, spy thriller, gritty kind of feel to it, I felt like this also had some courtroom drama elements because of the like scenes between Alec Baldwin, Jeremy Renner, stuff like that. It was like kind of
and Jeremy Renner did a good job that like he liked Ethan, he felt connected to Ethan, but he also knew what his job was to Alec Baldwin's character, and he walked that line very, very well. Like he was willing to help Alec Baldwin's character, but he didn't want to hurt Ethan.
Oh yeah. It's just everyone here, they've fleshed out so much more, and the action they fleshed out so much more and made it much more like realer. And I will say this though, so again, it doesn't do this nearly as bad as what Ghost Protocol did. And I'm not like trying to shit on Ghost Protocol. I love Ghost Protocol, but like I said, like one of my issues with that was like they had some certain action scenes in there where you're like, okay, that physically, there's no way that person could have turned his head, and there's no way they could have been alive enough to do that. Or you're watching it and like, okay, there's no way Ethan Hunt survived the drop from that high, stuff like that. There's certain things like that. This film, it very rarely has that. It's a lot more grittier, a lot more realistic. But there was like, and it was still a cool stunt. But whenever they're like driving the car and he's in the car with Benji, and he does that whole thing, he's like, put on your seatbelt. It's like, you're telling me that now? And then he like hits the thing, and then the car just keeps spinning like this. I was like, okay, one of y'all either would have died, and if y'all didn't die, one of y'all would have gotten extremely injured. Like, I mean, broken limb kind of injured. So, like, the fact they just kind of come out of there, like, perfectly fine. That was, like, I guess my one nitpick with the film, if I had any. was that one little thing. It doesn't take me out of it, but it's just something I kind of noticed when I was watching it this most recent time.
And I love how Ethan memorized the numbers at the end of the movie.
Yes, and oh my god, we didn't even talk about that entire scene. But with the villain attaching the bomb onto Benji's character and like making Benji much more of a character in this, or much more of much more of a prevalent character, because literally the ending is about trying to save his life. It's just very, very like it was like sweat inducing. It was really intense. And of course they stop it at that 000 mark and everything. It's like
I thought they started at like, I thought they managed up at like 0.2.
it was 000 and then 19 milliseconds. That's how much they stopped it at. So it was like 0.00019. Because they only had 19 milliseconds left. It was, yeah, what a film, guys. This film is incredible. Do you have anything else, whether it's like little like nitpicks or whether it's positive things to say about it?
I like that scene where they go to see the rule that that person and Alec Baldwin shows up, and then it's revealed that it was Ethan because they want to get the information from that dude.
Yeah, and then he ends up walking in there around the same time, and they're like, "We were told not to let anyone in." It's like, by who? By you, sir. That was just very interesting and very well done.
I like that scene, and there's really nothing else that I could think about.
Yeah, I mean, we've pretty much covered our tracks for this review, but Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation, guys, fantastic film.
Second favorite in the franchise for me.
Yeah, it's maybe my second favorite now. I have to think about it after I rewatch all the films again. Just really process which ones are ranked which. But I like this one even much more on this rewatch, because when I first watched it, I liked it. I liked it quite a bit actually, but I didn't love it, if that made sense. But now I'm like, I think I love it. This one was like really, really good. And just on a filmmaking standpoint, from the writing to the score to the directing, just, yeah, everything here is just excellent. And I cannot recommend this movie enough for you guys. So that's Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation for us, guys. Mission Impossible Fallout will be next. Stay tuned for that. That will be a pre-recorded one, I think, or at least I might be able to film it in Florida, but because my girlfriend will be going to work sometime, so I might be able to film it sometime during the day at some point in Florida. But we'll have to see if I don't have time, we might just pre-record that review for you guys before I leave, and then just post it that following weekend.
When do you leave for Florida?
I leave on July 7th. So I'll probably post it I would probably upload it on that weekend of July 7th, probably is when I would like maybe that Sunday or Monday. So but yeah, that is our review for Rogue Nation, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, do all the fun stuff down there, guys. We are enjoying doing this review series for you guys immensely, and we cannot wait to finally be able to get to the last one, and then to be able to just give you guys a ranking and everything. This will be a very, very fun time for us. And yeah, guys, happy birthday, Tom Cruise. You're an amazing action star. And this is an amazing action movie. So we will see you all in the next video. And until next time, stay classy, my friends.